What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to another edition of Match Day Reloaded here, live, as it gets Monday morning style in Panenka Studios. We're back once again, and we're talking about a victory for Manchester United in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2. Yes, 3 points, and a very, very, very important 3 points as well, because it was always important that we picked up the victory anyway. We're at the stage of the season which, as Erik ten Hag said yesterday after the game, points become more expensive. And I understand what he means by saying at this stage of the season when you're into, 8 games left, 7 games left, something like that, the points, even though they don't change numerically, it's still 1 and 3 or 0. They just feel like they've got an extra worth to them. They have become more expensive. They've got a bigger weight to them, those points. And we needed them yesterday because we needed them anyway. But when you have a weekend like we had prior to the game, where you're looking at your rivals surrounding you, both dropping points, Newcastle losing to Aston Villa comfortably at Villa Park, and you're looking at Spurs bottling it again at home to Bournemouth, it was like, right, cannot slip up, need to take opportunities, need to take chances. I think back to last season when we were in that top 4 race that we didn't win in the end, but we got gifted so many opportunities, didn't we, to get back in it or create some distance or catch back up, and we would just never do it. And that was a staple of really the United side over the last few years, really, is not taking opportunities when teams around them drop points and doing our own work first. We were always, I guess, relying on the generosity of others. But yesterday, we did it in a game that I felt, honestly, we dominated. I really feel like we dominated that game. And I did say this going into it. Obviously, I know there was a lot of concern about Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. And of course, we'll get into everyone's performances. We'll get into Maguire. We'll get into Lindelof. We'll get reaction from everyone inside UVHQ yesterday. But yesterday wasn't the game I was concerned about. Yesterday was not the one I was worried about. I was thinking, yes, Maguire and Lindelof, it's not the ideal pairing. It's not the ideal option. But as I said on Friday, or whenever it was, the press conference was, that team, that group of players should be good enough to beat Nottingham Forest away from home. I know it's the Premier League. I know that weird stage of the season where those relegation teams, they start picking up victories that you didn't expect them to or anything like that. But Forest, they haven't won a game in 10 games. They're not a good side. They haven't been playing well. That United team is not our strongest team, but it's still good enough to beat Forest away from home. And if we didn't win that game yesterday, you'd have said, well, to be honest, you don't deserve to be in the top 4 if you can't beat Forest away from home. No disrespect, Forest, but that's just the facts. That's just how it is. And 2-0, to be honest, I think flattens Forest a little bit. We should have won it 3-4, maybe even 5. We had opportunities. Keylor Navas kept Nottingham Forest in the game. If you want to look at the statistics from the game as well, they're on the side of the screen there, in that direction. I'll get it right in the end. Look at that, expected goals, 3.48. Possession, absolutely dominated, 68% possession. 22 shots, 8 on target. In comparison to Forest, they had 6 shots in the game. Shots on target, 0 points. David De Gea didn't have to make a save. Dominated, absolutely dominated them. Passes, 608 passes for Manchester United, 281 to Forest. Pass accuracy, 82% compared to their 65, which would imply, 1, they couldn't keep the ball or they were just going long. So Manchester United, I thought, totally dominated the game, totally deserved their victory and got the job done. And again, this was not the game I'm concerned about. I'm more worried about the games that are coming up now with some of the players that we've got in our team. Sevilla, I still think we're good enough to beat Sevilla away from home Thursday, because I was not impressed with what I saw last Thursday in the Europa League. I felt like that was a combination of bad luck, bad timing, and just sometimes that can happen in football, but I'm still pretty confident with that one. Brighton at Wembley, that's going to be challenging. That is going to be tough. But I was listening to Gary Neville on his podcast last night, and he was saying, and this is where sometimes I think we have to take the hysteria out of it as United fans, because obviously, look, we've seen Maguire and Lindelof so many times, and we've seen it not work out between them, in particular Maguire, which we'll get to. But in terms of like 3rd or 4th choice backups, you got 2 players there with international experience that, importantly as well, they've played together quite a lot, so they understand each other. And it could be worse. And as he pointed out, other teams, other big teams, they've had their centre-backs drop out too. Not both at the same time in one match. That's pretty unprecedented. But you look at Arsenal, you look at Saliba, you look at Liverpool over the course of the last couple of seasons, whether it's been Van Dijk or Konate or Matip, they're always changing their centre-backs. So we kind of have to not feel sorry for ourselves, not use it as an excuse and say, right, you've got to step up. These players that come in, they've got to step up. And I think yesterday they did that. I did. And again, I think it was almost, honestly, the perfect game for them to come in yesterday and build some confidence because, honestly, we have to be honest, Forest offered next to nothing. I know that technically they hit the post and maybe second half they had a corner that was a close header, but I thought Forest were really, really poor. And I see Steve Keepers come out after the game and say that maybe they could have had a penalty. And you know what? Maybe they could. You have seen them given, honestly. You have seen those ones given. Maguire, his arm like that, you can't really see, but his arm was out like that. And when it's away from your body, you run the risk. And as I said, we are going to get into Maguire because I was having heart palpitations in the first few minutes when he wrestled the striker down to the floor after 2 minutes. And there were a couple of spots through the game yesterday where you see, as I've said a million times this season, he cannot work in an Erik ten Hag system. He just can't long term in big matches because he's got no recovery pace. He's got a real mobility issue and he panics. He has no composure. And for someone that's got a real shortage of pace, his idea of trying to overcome that is get really tight to players, fast players, which is almost the opposite. Because you're thinking about it, if you're getting tight to them, they'll just spin you every time and then you wrestle them to the ground. I thought if you're going to compare the centre-backs, I thought Lindelof was far superior yesterday and I thought he did really well. And it was actually quite interesting. They spoke to Ten Hag after the game and they said, actually, usually it's Maguire on the left, Lindelof on the right. And Ten Hag said, not for me. He said, with the way we do it, Maguire plays on the right, Lindelof plays on the left. I think Lindelof's comfortable with either foot, which he is. And Maguire is better on the right-hand side. Basically saying, Maguire ain't got no left foot. Technically, he ain't it. So I'm just trying to limit what he can do. And yesterday, they did the job that was needed, certainly. But how is everyone feeling this morning? Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You know the drill as always. Get some of your comments up on the screen, then we'll get into some quotes. Compost Murph says Thursday, Sunday is going to be Stresselmania. The grandest stage of them all, indeed. Adrian, one of our members, says, morning UV family, big up all the mods and everyone in the free seats. Owen at the wheel, big up yourself and good morning, Adrian, as well. What else are we saying? United for Life says Lindelof stepped up when we needed him, absolutely. And it must be said, as I said, it's not that's the game to do it in yesterday, but really there are some real more pivotal games that they have to step up in. I'm thinking of Brighton away. Well, I'm thinking of Brighton away in the league. I'm thinking Brighton at Wembley. I'm thinking obviously of the Sevilla game. I'm thinking of Spurs away. There are still those bigger games. They're my concerns. That game yesterday wasn't my concern. I was fairly confident going into it, to be honest, because I just felt that Forest were not that. And we have to back our team. We are having a good season as well. Daniel Luciano says, was really impressed with the attack. I agree. I thought the attack looked really fluid yesterday and really, really good. I thought it was Antony's best game. As I said, we'll get into all of that. But first, let's get into some quotes after the game. First from Bruno Fernandes, was the player of the match from Sky Sports. Said, quote, it was a really good team performance. We know how hard it is to play here at the City Ground. Diogo Dalot, or as Paolo would say, Diogo Dalot. We are not just only 11 players. We have shown it in the past. Players getting injured. This is football. Of course, Dalot getting his first Premier League goal yesterday. He continued by saying, inside the dressing room, we were calm about the injuries. We know through the season that we are not only 11 players. Bruno then said, I just said to Kayla, that being Kayla Navas, today you only saved mine. I thought Bruno was really unlucky not to get on the score sheet yesterday. And as I said, we'll get into Bruno after Flex's reaction. But what a guy. I mean, look at the range that he's shown in the last couple of weeks. For people that were saying, I'm not sure he can play deeper, which I was one of them. I was saying I think he's better, more influential further forward. But in the deeper role over the last few weeks, I think he's been excellent. Yesterday, going back to his more normal role advance, just everything. Everything. Look, you look at the goals. Even if he's not directly involved in getting an assist, he's always involved. He is, and he was a threat. He was dangerous. He was just sensational. He really was. And it goes to show once again, Christian Eriksen, if you've got someone on the pitch that's on the same wavelength of Bruno Fernandes, and think how long that's been missing since January. Someone that knows how to find the pass to him, knows Bruno can think, I can make a run and get into this position and someone will find me. It's just, it just elevates his game to the next level, and he was so influential. And to be fair, Kayla Navas was brilliant yesterday too. He was absolutely fantastic. I mean, the save he makes when he tips it onto the bar is excellent. Dalot continued by saying, it was special to score. In the moment, the goal was important as well. At 2-0, we were much more comfortable. I tell you what, Diogo Dalot yesterday after he scored, The way he was gritting his teeth, he was embracing the spirit of Jurgen Klopp. It felt like afterwards. I mean, I thought this was going to be like Diego Maradona after in the World Cup when he goes right into the camera. I was thinking Dalot's going to have to be in like a doping test after the game. He was a madman. I mean, he's doing that as a celebration most of the time. He was loving it. And he was excellent yesterday too, playing at left back as well. We had Wan-Bissaka, who again was, I mean, this is going to get very repetitive. Apologies, but Wan-Bissaka was excellent too, but Dalot was fantastic. Dalot said about scoring his first Premier League goal, "It's always special to score for this club, even better with the result." Now, when it comes to the Manchester United manager, Erik ten Hag said, "The only criticism is the score should be higher," and I agree. I absolutely agree. That's what I was just saying a few minutes ago, wasn't it? That I thought we dominated, and that would still be the one thing throughout some of these results recently, whether it's Everton last weekend, whether it's Sevilla on Thursday, and whether it's yesterday, 2 wins and a draw. The one criticism would be, honestly, because when you look at that Sevilla result and you do actually look at it in context, it's a freak what happened in the second half. But the criticism would be, you have to be more clinical still. We still need to take our chances because there's not an issue in creation at the moment. I'd be far more concerned, and we have seen Manchester United. Think back to last season where we'd go through a half of football, 60 minutes of football, 65 minutes of football, and you would go, I tell you what, I can't remember their goalkeeper making a save, or I can't remember Manchester United getting in an opportunity to score. Last season was the worst for that. Some of the worst games of football to watch because you didn't do anything. Last few games, it's not been the case at all. The chance creation's been really up there, and the shots on target have been up there, but it's just about taking them, and it's about being ruthless and clinical and killing the game off. And that's the next step, I think, for United. Despite the injuries that we have at the moment, if we get that ruthless, clinical stage whereby if they're giving us opportunities to go 3-4-0 up in the first 20 minutes, you take it and that game's over. You watch Manchester City, especially at this stage of the season, they're like 3-0 up by like 20 minutes. I know it was Leicester at the weekend, but the point is the game's over and it's done. And we have had those opportunities recently in some of these games. And again, that would be really the only criticism from it would be just be a bit more clinical. Take your chances, kill the game off. Had we been more clinical last Thursday, we wouldn't even be talking about stress coming into playing away against Sevilla, 2 goals conceded. It wouldn't have happened because we had the opportunity to kill the game off. That's really the only criticism. Now, Ten Hag also spoke about having to play Christian Eriksen. Of course, Marcel Sabitzer was due to start. He had to pull out before the game. Christian Eriksen came in, and Ten Hag said, Christian Eriksen is not a disadvantage, eh? And it's not. Christian Eriksen was sensational yesterday, and honestly, I would expect no less from Christian Eriksen because that's what he does. I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words. That's what he does. And when Eriksen got injured in January, I felt that there was almost this underappreciation for him because there was all this talk about Casemiro. There was all this talk about Casemiro's influence on the team. And obviously, Casemiro's influence on the team is massive. When Casemiro doesn't play, we lose. But at the same time, I think people kind of forgot or maybe took for granted just how important Christian Eriksen is in terms of the build-up play, in terms of linking up passes, finding passes that just nobody else in our team can do. Nobody else can do in our team what Christian Eriksen is capable of. And he does it with ease. You saw him chatting after the game. Lovely day. Lovely day of football. Composure. He's just so important. He really is. And fantastic to have back. At the time that we're missing all of these players and injuries dropping out, and I've got the injury list in front of me, so we'll get to that later on. But he is so vital. So important, and he was just brilliant yesterday. Ten Hag spoke about Antony Martial, saying it was great action from Martial for Antony's goal. He's an incredibly good player. He can score goals. I spoke about earlier on about Maguire playing on the right-hand side, Lindelof on the left, and it had been vice versa under previous regimes. But Ten Hag said, the angles are not good if Harry is playing on the left side. I think he plays better on the right. And he also said that Lindelof is better with his left foot. Basically, he's saying, look, the angles aren't there because Maguire can't do it, And again, the Maguire thing is what it is. Get to the end of the season, I think he's gone anyway. Ten Hag then continued by saying you have to learn from the mistakes you make. Today was a very focused performance. Eriksen also spoke, as I mentioned, about coming on or starting the game when he didn't think he was going to start the game. He said, mentally, I was ready to start. It's a theme that we don't score early enough to take advantage of good starts, but we keep going. Bruno Fernandes also spoke about not scoring. He said about Keylor Navas, he only saved mine, but the result is more important. We want to be in the Champions League next season. I want to get my goals, but the team comes first. Christian Eriksen said, we want to get revenge on Sevilla on Thursday. Ten Hag also said, today was a really concentrated and focused performance, and that's what you need, especially when you go to the end. I said before, the points get more expensive in this period of the season because they're all finals. And finally, also as well, just before we get to Flex's reaction, Steve Cooper, the Nottingham Forest manager, said, quote, Harry Maguire was definitely a penalty for handball. That's a second yellow card and a red, a terrible decision. Hold that thought, because we'll get into that when we speak about Harry Maguire. But I would agree that I felt that he walked a very, very, very fine line. When he got booked after the second minute, there were a couple of other ones there that he did fouls after that, and I felt like he was walking, as I said, a fine line. I think it could have been a penalty. I think it could have been a penalty, and again, I think he could have got a red card. And frankly, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and sit here and be like, oh, if it was the other way around, I wouldn't claim for it, because 100% I would. And I think that Forest, they maybe have a right to be somewhat aggrieved there. I don't think they would have particularly deserved it on the running of the game, but that doesn't matter. Decisions are decisions. So I've said before that I'd still, if it's not Varane being back, when Varane's going to be out for a couple more weeks, I think, Lindelof and Shaw, easy, you know. My concern would be that Lindelof was played at left centre-back yesterday, so that would imply that maybe Shaw would go in at left centre-back, but Lindelof can do both, in my opinion, so there you go. Let's get some reaction. First from Flex. KG spoke to Flex after the game. Here's what Flex had to say about United's 2-0 victory.
Top performance. Yeah. Top performance, man. This was the one, had to win. You said it.
Absolutely.
We've won the weekend. Yeah. In our little bit where we are, Spurs, you know what I'm saying, Newcastle, you saw they lost yesterday. We had to get the job done. And after Thursday, when we were feeling down, you know what I'm saying, the season's over, Maguire's going to have to play now, no, Vegas, down in the dumps, had to put in a performance. Not even had to win the game first.
Yeah.
But we got both. We got the performance and we got the 3 points. It was flawless.
You done your video in the car today, again, road trip, and you said, again, must-win game and stuff, and players that stepped up. Who was the players that really shone for you today in today's performance?
Bruno was outstanding. Bruno was outstanding. I actually gave the man of the match to Antony. I'll get to him in a second. Yeah. But I saw that they gave it to Bruno. He was wicked, man. He made the most amount of chances. He was everywhere. He was making, I'm playing deeper, which he has been the last few games, to be able to snap back out of that into what he normally does, further forward, just brilliant. Then there were times today, simple passes, brilliant, linking up with players. And remember when after that Liverpool game, you know, the outsiders, they asked Mondial, should he be a captain again? Should he ever, captain the side again? He's a disgrace. Shut up. Like, he's our talisman. We don't need people from outside to tell us how influential he is to this team. Now, I'm not saying he's always perfect. Yeah. In the interview he done the other day, he said, sometimes I go over the line.
I need to be on the edge.
He needs to be on the edge. That's how he plays. I remember when after that Liverpool situation, I said, we have to love all of him. Yeah. Like, that's just how he is,
I think we need to start doing that with a lot of our players, though, because I think that's been your energy this whole watch along today. That was your energy, especially with Maguire as well. But keep on Bruno though.
Just it's just interesting to see how people, they write him off. And Rich said it. Great debut by Rich, by the way. He was saying, like, actually, of course, player of the season, likely to be a Martinez, obviously Rashi, the top ones. But Bruno, he should be in that as well.
Well, you mentioned
he's only not played in a couple of games, only through suspension, and sometimes through no fault of his own. The suspension he's just got for the Seville one's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
He's always available, will play anywhere the manager asks him to. And look when he wasn't there against Aston Villa. When he's not there, we feel it. And actually, a little bit of a dampener. Hopefully Sabitza's all right, because if there's no Sabitzer or Bruno against Seville, that's a solution.
You trust the manager.
I'm not saying we can't do it.
I know what you're saying.
I know Bruno by saying that's an issue.
But again, trust the manager again. Is this?
But Antony, your guy,
is he the answer?
Listen, He's the answer to the right-hand side.
He's the right-hand side. I know people got excited and said Facundo, this, that, and the other. But talk to me about Antony's performance today, bro.
He played a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Only thing missing was a goal for him, so maybe a 9. But
he scored.
Oh my God, he scored. He scored.
Yeah.
He scored. And he got an
You know, you wanted more. You wanted
10
more.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Official.
Answer to the right-hand side.
Only thing missing was a goal, apart from the fact he scored the goal and he got an assist. Antony was absolutely brilliant yesterday. It's that textbook dynamite analysis. It's the dynamite analysis that we bring you here at United View. You know what, as well? I was thinking that when I was watching, when that clip was playing, I'm going to put a poll in the chat. And you'll know the reference to this. So it's up to you whether what you want to vote in. It's just going to be... That's just gone in there. That's gone in there. That's the question. You know how to answer. I mean, it's up to you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how to respond to that. The poll's in the chat. Okay? That's just... The question is Antony the answer? That's it. You have to... It's up to you. I'll tell you my opinion in just a second. Bruno first, though. Bruno Fernandes yesterday was brilliant. And I do have some stats in front of me as well, because I wanted to come prepared this morning. It's a different me. It's a new me. It's a new week. Okay? We're bringing you stats as well this morning in front of me. So Bruno Fernandes got the player of the match from Sky Sports yesterday. And here is why. This is why their justification of it. In terms of touches on the pitch, Bruno had 92 touches. That was ranked second. Chances created, 5. That was ranked first. Passes in the final third, 42 first. Distance covered, this is the one I like, because every time we've lost this season, every time we've had those negative performances, they always trot this stat out about United not running enough, United not covering enough of the pitch and all that kind of stuff. Bruno Fernandes covered 9.6 kilometres yesterday, that being ranked number 1. So Bruno, again, was everywhere, was absolutely everywhere. And Flex brings up a really good point when it comes to Bruno Fernandes, and that is that there is this bizarre fascination from people outside of United about him. They can't stop talking about him and his attitude and his behaviour and this, that and the other. Should he be captain? Shouldn't he be captain? Take a step back, and actually, to be fair, even to some United fans, the Bruno slander does have to kind of stop, because this is a guy that when it's been good, bad or indifferent, he's always been there. He is always there. He doesn't shy away. He doesn't shy away from doing interviews. He doesn't shy away from responsibility. He's worn the captain's armband this season for the majority of the season when he's not even technically the captain. And he's led the team on the pitch to a team that, by the way, we've already got more points this season than we did throughout all of last season with 8 games to go. So people that were trying to say the other day, well, after this amount of games, Ralph Rangnick had less than 1 point. So what does that say? What does it say now? This is what I don't understand with these people that were trying to sort of suggest or pontificate that Ralph Rangnick was better than Erik ten Hag last season. I mean, come on. Just a couple of games later, we've already beaten last season's points tally. We've got 8 games to go. Bruno Fernandes, he is a leader. Clearly, he is a leader. He's a catalyst. Since he signed for Manchester United, I think he's created more chances in the Premier League. Since he signed for United, I doubt anyone scored more goals for Manchester United than he has as well. And yesterday he puts in an excellent performance. I even see some people trying to put it down, go and say, oh, it's only Nottingham Forest. Well, I'll give him. Well, what's the point then? And, you know, apparently, if you're playing a bad team, you can't play well, because that makes a lot of sense. He was excellent yesterday. He's been excellent this season. He's been shifted around in different positions. Think about that too. He's not even consistently been in the same spot. Yesterday, he played as a 10. Last few weeks, he's been playing as a 6. At certain points this season, he's been playing wide right, which is clearly not his best role, but it was a case of how do I get everyone else in the team? He does what he needs to do for the team. He is a team player. He is a leader. And people can talk about, yeah, but his behaviour sometimes is this, and he rolls around and he chats too much to the referee. Maybe he does. But I don't really want to be in the position, honestly, to be telling such an influential player and someone that is delivering results and performances, you need to change. Or, you know, all that stuff that makes you you, get out of that. You know, get out of that. No, you can't be that. You can't be yourself. No, clearly he's dedicated to the cause. So I thought he was excellent yesterday. And to be fair, I did think there were quite a few players yesterday that had a worthy claim to man of the match. The other being Antony, who I thought was, I mean, we put it in the title, Antony's best performance. I think that's probably Antony's best complete performance in a United shirt since he signed in the summer. I thought that He was energetic. Obviously, he got his goal. And the goal comes from him being in the right area, honestly. He got an assist. His pass for the Dalot goal is excellent. And I've seen quite a few people pointing this out. And I think it's true when they're saying that, you know what? If you've got runners and you've got people that are making those right runs, I think it was even Ten Hag said after the game how important the fullbacks are to dominating possession and having time on the ball in the middle of the pitch. He was saying the fullbacks, when they're inverted and they sort of flood out the midfield, they allow us to have more time on the ball. And those fullbacks making those runs into the box make it difficult for the Nottingham Forest players to track it up because they're running from deep. And you've got people like Antony that can find that pass. And maybe that's what kind of player he is. We've always been saying, what kind of winger is Antony? Clearly, he's not the winger that's like, hugging the touchline up and down, nick it past or anything like that. No, he's not. And we know he's sort of a one-track kind of skill guy. We know what he's going to do. He did it a couple of times yesterday, the Antony special. We know he's going to cut inside. We know he's going to try and whip it. That's just what Antony is going to do. But Ten Hag even said it in his press conference after the game yesterday, and it's so almost gratifying because it's something that I know you guys have been saying all season. I know it's something we've discussed on the Full View, is he compared him to the guy that cut insides all the time and was very good at it, Arjen Robben. Ten Hag said he's so good on the inside. So I've seen, for instance, Arjen Robben a lot. This comes from Ten Hag's time at Bayern Munich. He said they say he only had one trick, but that trick was so brilliant no one can stop it. And in fairness, that's what we have said about Antony this season, isn't it? Is that it's two choices really. And the easiest choice is become less predictable. Don't cut inside every single time because you're going to get found out. The second choice is the harder choice. But if you can get it right, then there's nothing wrong with it. Is basically you can cut inside every time. You just got to make sure you're unstoppable. And yesterday, in fairness, and he wasn't going up against great defenders, but yesterday when he cut inside, they couldn't stop him. And in fairness, against Sevilla on Thursday, he could have had a couple of goals by cutting inside. So I don't have a problem with being predictable, as long as you can deliver every single time. And also, that's not your only facet of your game. You're offering other things throughout the game. You're getting assists through reverse passes. And a couple of times he did go past the play yesterday. He was much more direct, and you can't fault, certainly, his work rate either. I think he supports his fullback tremendously. I think what we have seen in the last, or certainly the second part of this season, is this relationship, I feel like, building up between Antony and Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. I mean, Dalot was excellent yesterday on the left, and obviously Dalot does have a relationship with Antony. They did their celebration after the goal. But I do like the combination of Antony and Wan-Bissaka on the right, the athleticism, the unpredictability, a little bit from Wan-Bissaka, i.e. you have no idea what he's going to do. No idea. But I just thought he was excellent yesterday. And again, it's not his fault how much United paid for him. It's not Man United's fault that we went in from early on and we thought, no, that's too much. And then we started the season terribly, and then we panicked and we had to pay like 100 million euros or whatever it was for Antony. That's not his fault, but he's always going to get judged on that. The only thing he can do is put in decent performances and try and get better and try and improve. And I think it's fair to say, particularly from the beginning of the season, he had such an electric start as well. You can't forget that too, scoring his first 3 Premier League games. But I think in terms of an overall performance, I would argue that he's getting better. I am seeing, particularly I would think in the last few weeks, legitimate, tangible improvement from Antony in recent games. And again, I'm happy with that. And, the polls in the chat, 7 minutes in, is Antony the answer? 90% say yes, which is pretty strong. That's very strong. So yeah, I thought Antony was excellent yesterday. Speaking of Antony, there's someone here on the channel that's a big fan. I don't know if you've heard of him. 1KG, that comedian. He said yesterday he was happy as Gary. That's because Gary's his last name. Here's what KG had to say.
On the right-hand side, people. On the right-hand side. Antony, man. Everyone shut your mouths, bro. Pundits, all you lot, bro. Because that's what you say he was. You weren't looking at his game. You said, did he get the right one? Of course he got the right one, fam. Defensive work. When have you seen a winger get back like that? Him and Wamby's relationship. It doesn't make sense for Velas to Croydon. Bro, the relationship is building. The relationship is developing, and them man are on fire. Even now, you get Wan-Bissaka playing one-touch football, bro. He's saying, Wan-Bissaka, you know what? Shoot. Wan-Bissaka said, I can't. It's cool. It's cool. Antony will take care of it. Bro, man gets a goal and assist today. Again, desire. That's what you got to talk about. The main thing that we got to look at, the desire. The guy, like, there's chances where you're seeing strikers, you have to gamble. You have to put your foot on the end of it. People don't really do that. Antony says, you know what? I'm going to make this moment count because the last game I was in, I should have been better. In Sevilla, I was still good, but I could have got us a goal. Today, he gets a reward for that. And I think that's incredible. Then the Delot one, I think the Delot one probably is, the Delot assist is probably more special than the goal, purely just for the time and the way he does it, cuts in. And now, because he's been so predictable in terms of playing that little, you know the shot. You know, it's just called it Antony special. He usually plays that one. He says, nah, you know what? Very, very smart Delot, incredible run. Delot waits, Keylor Navas, who had a great game. Balls in the back of the net, game done, game over. This is the levels. This is the difference. We finally got a guy on the right-hand side and hopefully stays fit to the end of the season. But you can see the confidence growing. He said he had some issues off the pitch. All he needed was time. This guy's in his first season and look what he's delivering. Again, 4 goals in the Premier League. I think I believe he should get into double figures. End of the season, that guy should be in double figures for goals. But I'm saying that's the difference. Bruno Fernandes. Again, I'm known for saying reckless things. You lot want to talk to me about Pogba. I don't want to hear about Pogba. Pogba never did this, bro. I don't care. Yes, cuts, dabs, haircuts and dabbing and that, and wicked touch. But what happened in the Man United shirt? Not enough. We're not talking about international. We don't care. We are not France. This is Man United. And you're seeing the difference. If he has to play, if he has to play like 6, if he has to play on the wing, bro, he's played all the positions. He's played all the positions and he's dedicated. He says, listen, I want to be part of the solution. I'm not here to be a problem, but just keep me on the pitch. And that's what you're getting. You're getting a proper, complete midfielder. He was now in his true position. Him and Martial. That goal, the pass that he plays to Martial is a difference.
When KG said Paul Pogba there, I literally, like, not even disrespect, not even trying to sort of rile up the Pogba, the pro Pogba people, whatever. I genuinely had forgot about him. I don't even know what he's doing at Juventus anymore. I think he is playing, is he? Maybe at the moment, I have no idea. But I'm not even going to get into it. Not even going to get into it. We're going to talk about Christian Eriksen because for a player that wasn't due to start yesterday, for him to come on and do the performance he did. As I said earlier on, I think that, not that anyone's disrespected him this season, because I don't think they have. I think, but almost by an omission of emphasising his importance on this team, there's been hints of disrespect. There's been whiffs of disrespect around Christian Eriksen, because he's just so good. He is just so good, and he offers so much. We don't have anyone like him. He oozes class. He oozes composure, and it's not even necessarily things that will lead up to a goal, but it's just, again, being calm on the ball. And I said this as well, away from home this season, our performances haven't been great, particularly against those big teams. And honestly, one of my sort of things that does make me a bit more comfortable and a bit more confident with these sort of big away games that we still have coming up, your Brightons, your Spurses, your FA Cup semi-final, because technically it's away, it's at Wembley, is that in those big games, when the pressure's on and the crowd are up and they're on top of you and they're willing their team on, you need people in the middle of the pitch that can go, right, calm the game down, kill the game, foot on the ball, let's just keep the ball for 5 minutes and not have it and be press resistant as well. They're going to be trying to harrying us down, winning the ball, the crowd to be going, go on, go on, go on. You need someone that's goes like, no problem, feed it into me, I'll keep it ticking over. That's what Christian Eriksen can do. In addition to, oh, by the way, once I get it on the half turn, I haven't even looked, but I know I can find a player with one touch. Bang. Put it out to the wing, put it out to Antony, put it to Rashford, give it to Bruno in an advanced role, who I know then can somehow contribute towards the goal. That's what Christian Eriksen can do. And nobody in this team, whether it is Casemiro, whether it's Sabitzer, whether it's Fred, whether it's McTominay, any of those guys, none of them can do it. And if anything, that should be something, we talk about the summer and midfielders, that should be something that we should be looking at come the summer going, can we get someone of an Eriksen image or mould that is that sort of technically proficient? because he has been such a miss. And if he's not available for whatever reason, injury, suspension, whatever, we need someone that can do that, because nobody does that. And his ability to scan and have the entire picture of the pitch and not break a sweat is just so good. So good. Makish said midfielders need to learn from Ericsson. He's always looking around, 360 rubbernecking. Yep, certainly with the scanning. Starlord, is this a verifiable fact? Because if it is, it's very good. It might win fact in the morning. Not that that's a real thing. Starlord says there's only one player in Europe who has more goals and goal assists than Bruno since he joined United, and that's Messi. Is that true? Is that true? Because if that is true, that would be unbelievable, certainly. Ericsson, as I mentioned, started yesterday because Marcel Sabitzer was injured. He got injured in the warm-up. And just listen to our injury list at the moment. And not only the length of it, but also the players that are involved in it as well. Marcus Rashford. Now, there's a hope he'll be back for Thursday. There were some weird rumblings that he might have been on the bench yesterday before the game. He wasn't. Neither was Luke Shaw, but Luke Shaw's on the road to recovery as well. Again, the hope would be that Shaw will be available for Thursday or Sunday. So you've got Rashford, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Sabitzer. Don't know the severity on that. Hopefully it's not too bad. McTominay, Van der Beek, Garnacho and Malacia. Of course, Malacia missed yesterday with a sore knee. So you've got, proper players that have played significant minutes this season too. Real significant. That in just that team. It's 9 players. It's not that far off having a full team of players, and it's not bad, is it? You've got back 4. You've got Martinez, Varane, Shaw, Malacia. There you go. You've got your midfielders in McTominay, Sabitzer, Donny. You've got your wingers in Garnacho and Rashford. It's not far off in terms of some of the players that we're missing. Now, thankfully, as I mentioned, not all of them are long-term, because, Rashford, hopefully, is back soon. Shaw's back soon. Sabitzer, we don't know. Malacia, if he's got a sore knee, hopefully, again, he can be back for the game on Thursday as well. He didn't play particularly well last week, but it's still important. He has played well at points this season. So that injury list is significant. And I think, again, that's what makes yesterday's result not necessarily more impressive, because, again, I always felt confident we'd get that victory, because I just didn't think Forest would offer anything, and they didn't. But the real impressiveness is going to come in this next week or so. Let's face it, this time next week, Matchday Reloaded might be a very different tone, because I would hope that we're talking about being in an FA Cup final and a Europa League semi-final, or we're talking about being out of 2 cup competitions. So football is proper fine margin stuff, isn't it? Absolutely. Let's get some more reaction. DJ from DJ Inside UVHQ. KG spoke to DJ. Here are DJ's thoughts and DJ talks.
The last couple of days it's been dark times. I've stayed in the crib. The blinds have been down, KG. But you know what? Today, listen, we needed a win. We needed the 3 points. We had a bit of bad news at the start of the game before the ball was even kicked. Sabitzer was out. Still not sure about what that injury is or how serious it is. But you know what?
Don't worry, Ten Hag's going to tell us.
Right, that to the side. My last fan view, I ended it with tactical solutions. Today, we found tactical solutions.
Solutions.
Ericsson came in, and for the first half, he was amazing. Linked so well with Bruno and Casemiro. That's our midfield there. That is the midfield there.
That's the midfield.
We've never lost the game with all 3 of them playing, We never lost the game. Yeah, that's a mad stat. I did the stat.
I didn't know.
We've never lost the game with all 3 of them playing. Yeah, so it just goes to show you that's Ten Hag's preferred midfield. But a lot of great performances, bro.
A lot.
Dallo. He was having a mare a couple of weeks ago. He comes into the team now, left back, inversions. He was inverted. Yeah. He was inverted, yeah. Tactical solutions again. Our manager was managing, bro.
Yeah, I think he's because he has to be the difference now. Yeah. It has to be Ten Hag, because you were ready for this game. You did say, look, he has to change things. He has to. This is where he earns his coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, and we saw that today. I think even having to throw Ericsson, at literally the 11th hour, and he comes in and he has a performance just like that. Amazing. Martial is slowly building.
Yeah, I want to ask you, who the players that were just really good for you today?
Yeah, man, there's quite a few,
I don't care. Who deserves
cool.
special mentions?
Martial, Ericsson, Dallo, Wambi. Hey, Wambi, that's my guy. Sancho did well today.
Yeah.
Antony. What do you call him again?
Answer to the right side.
Yeah, the answer to the right hand side. I'm going to take that off you now.
Yeah,
Definitely, he played amazing today. De Gea had nothing to do. But wait. Wait. De Gea's distribution. What are you lot saying at home? What are you lot saying at home?
Ask them.
What are you lot saying? Because listen, we heard about Alisson distribution, all this rubbish, yeah. But when De Gea now today, listen, he probably misplaced 2-3 passes maximum. Everything went to the player, yeah. He did a great job. He come out, he punched something clear, yeah. Listen,
he's now got a clean sheet record.
That's what I'm saying.
He's now got a clean sheet record.
What are you lot saying? He keeps the ball out of the back of the net. I don't want to hit David De Gea haters. Sit down, please. Just sit down.
Wow.
I wasn't going to go into the David De Gea stuff until later on in the show, but since DJ brings it up in that clip, as DJ said, he was excellent yesterday. He was very, very good. And I've already seen, get ready for it, because I've already seen the goalpost start to be shifted again, because this is what happens with David De Gea. Every single time he does something good, it's, but how can he play well? He didn't even have to make a single save. Oh, sorry. So I didn't think saves were important, because a couple of weeks ago, when he's making saves, you're telling me they're not important. It's the passing, it's the distribution that's important. Yesterday, when he doesn't have to make saves, but his distribution is good, and he comes out and actually punches crosses, that's not enough. I mean, can you imagine that? Seriously. Suddenly that's not enough. It's about saves as well. What a load of nonsense. That's the problem. That is my point entirely, is that every single time the goalposts are shifted, and pun intentional there because he plays in goal. Because if he makes save, no, it's about distribution. If he doesn't have to make any saves, but he does good distribution, I'm so angry I can't even talk, good distribution, then it's like, oh no, actually no, he didn't make any saves, so it's not a complete performance. What do you want? I feel like that Ryan Gosling clip. What do you want? What do you want from him? What else? He's top of the clean sheet things now. I mean, come on. It's just, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, now it leads the race for the Premier League Golden Glove race with 14 clean sheets this season. Of course, after Pope and Ramsdale didn't keep clean sheets yesterday. That's not apparently on him as well. That's not him, even though he plays in goal and he keeps clean sheets. No, that's not De Gea, that's someone else. You know, that's the defenders. Well, he's playing with different defenders all the time at the moment, and he's still keeping clean sheets. That seems pretty interesting, doesn't it? You know, it's just, it's crazy. I don't understand. I don't understand. Ahmed's telling me to calm down. He's got big weaknesses and big strengths. But this is the thing. Yes, because every player does have big weaknesses and big strengths. But yesterday, his perceived weaknesses were fine. So I don't, you know, I've never not said that David De Gea could improve on his distribution, and I've never not said, and it's a double negative, so grammatically, I'm all over the shop this morning, but I've never said that, you know, we shouldn't be looking at another goalkeeper. I've said David De Gea staying and another goalkeeper coming in, they're not mutually exclusive. You can still do both. But at the same time, when he has a good game, like the reluctance, or always the little asterisk over it, he played well, but he didn't have anything to do. He played well, but, you know, the defenders did a good job. Or he played, it was a good save, but he should be making that save. Or, well, you know, Man United are actively trying to fix those issues surrounding him. They don't want him to be on the contract he's on at the moment, and his distribution's improving. And you can still get David De Gea in. But this just refusal to give him credit for certain things is crazy. It's nuts. Let's get some more reaction from Rich. Big debut, impressive debut for Rich yesterday. Round of applause for Rich as well. Pastor Rich as well, because lots of people were talking about the turtleneck with short sleeves. Impressive. So I believe now it's not just Rich, it's Pastor Rich. And so round of applause for Pastor Rich as well. Super chat from Keegan as well before I get to it. Says, sorry if I'm late, but Cam and Marcel need humble pie. To be honest though, with Cam and Marcel, I don't think they particularly care. So, whatever. But yes, let's get some reaction from Rich. Here's what he said to KG after the game.
Absolutely amazing. Obviously it was tense, like Flex said before, went on the live stream, right? It was tense watching the game, but when you think back through the game, we dominated them. We controlled the game, we had the ball, that midfield, and which is, I'm probably going to say it about 5 times on this match, on this fan cam, yeah. That midfield was what won us the game. You know, when you look at Bruno, when you look at Eriksen and Casemiro in that midfield, each of them has a role, but each of them can play and interchange and play the same kind of role. Yeah. Bruno, Eriksen getting right up front, Absolutely amazing. I was very, very pleased with the performance, and we dominated the game.
It was brilliant, man. And was you one of those that, again, when the injuries, midweek, was you one of them that thought, I think our season's...
I had to ask the question: are the injuries going to derail our season? And in the moment, especially, we were 85 minutes or 83 minutes, we were solid, game controlled, and then it's a sucker punch. It was so deflating when all that happened, especially the Martinez injury. But then when you had time to think about it and sit down, you think, actually, we've got a good team. We've got good players that can come in and step up. Maguire today had shaky moments, but he stepped up. He did the job.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'll be harder tests coming, but when going back to your question, right? I think you just have to understand that we have good players. And more than that, we've got a good manager. He's got a plan every single time. He's got a plan every single time. He was saying in one of his last presses, right? If you're going to make an excuse as a Man United player, then you don't deserve to be here. Go find another club. And
that was a reveal. What was you thinking when you heard him say that?
I absolutely loved it. I thought, you know what, this is the manager we waited for all this time. And he said it in the right way. Maybe a person like a Mourinho would have said something similar, but it would have been toxic.
Yeah,
the way he said it, it's facts. If you can't handle the heat at United, then you don't need to be here.
Yeah.
And you'll get your chance. We'll bring you in, but if you can't handle it, you don't need to be here. So I love it. I love that mentality.
Again, just talking about the team and the little things that we've done, the little changes that we made. Talk to me about just Martial's impact on this squad.
Tony Martial, and he didn't even score today, but he's just purring,
Yeah.
In his position, he drops deep when he needs to drop deep, collects the ball, and we're talking about bringing in Kane, right? And Kane drops deep as well, but he doesn't do it like Martial does it. Martial can hold up the ball, play those slick passes, absolutely amazing this today. He was connecting the play. I just loved what he did. Even we spoke about it on the match view, the shot that he had, he shot across the goal.
Yeah.
Some play, let's not talk negatively about Weghorst or whatever, but certain players wouldn't be making that shot. And even they'll just snap at the shot. Even sometimes I don't want to, I love Rashford.
Yeah.
Even him sometimes he'll just hit as hard as he can, right?
Yeah. I think that's changed this season a bit, though. I think Rashford's learning to pick his spots now a bit more.
And that the credit can go to Benny McCarthy at the
Big up Rich, excellent debut yesterday. Big up Rich as well, Pastor Rich as well. I've just noticed something, guys, and some would describe it as a disgrace. We've got over 700 people watching, only 158 likes. Panenka Studios is like the TARDIS. It's a real thing. It's got feelings. It's an active life form. And if you listen very closely, you can hear Panenka Studios just with a silent weep. Actually, that would make no sense because it would be silent. The point being is the likes need to go up. The likes need to be raised, just like the performance level from Manchester United yesterday. They need to be raised. The likes can be raised. We can do it. You know what Matchday Reloaded is. Okay, it's a solo stream. We get so invested. We get so into it. I start screaming and ranting and raving that I start sweating, and that's why I have to wear the Under Armour. That's why I'm starting to wear athletic gear, because this is turning into a real exercise, a real workout, and the likes are the fuel. Okay, this is a pit stop. I'm just going to keep going through the metaphors until the likes go up. What we need is this is in Formula One. I'm entering the pit, and then they go into the little pit lane, and what we need is just fast likes. We need fast likes up in the same way that they go, and then they drive off, and they go, that was 2 seconds, or whatever, and then they go off, and they start racing around. Don't really watch Formula 1 as much as I should. I think that's what happens in pit stops. The point being, this was a like pit stop, yeah? And the likes the likes are going up because of it, yeah? As V Cobra says, hit the like button. It's not rocket science. That's it. Lil Yo says, we need tactical solutions for the likes. If I start doing, like on the touchline with those managers, and they start sort of moving their hands around a little bit, maybe that will get the likes up. If I start going to people, that works. So next time in the future, if I just stop and I just start doing this, do that. That's what I'll do. That'll get the likes. It's working. Actually, it's working. Imagine Flex just tuned in now. I think I'd have to have a meeting. Let's get some more reactions. Player ratings. We don't usually have time to show some clips from the player ratings, but we do today. I believe in these player ratings, they were discussing the likes of Eriksen, Bruno, and possibly Anthony Martial. And when I come back...
I get to come to your favourite player, Eriksen. We're giving him. Don't go crazy.
No, all right. 8's my magic number at the minute.
8 is...
I'm going to give him a solid 8, man.
Yeah.
Conducted everything. He was class.
Class?
Because I got to save the higher ones for the...
Yeah, for the serious one. Then. 8, yeah?
8 for me. 8 for
Bruno
me.
Fernandes.
9 today.
9?
9 today, man. He
All
was
right, why?
absolutely everywhere. Captain Marvel, man. You know, he's passing.
You do know he's not a captain.
Yeah, well, he's my captain.
Yeah.
It's mine. I don't know about you, but it's mine.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, like, you know, linked up with the forward play. He linked the midfield to the attack effortlessly. Played in the 10. Then he popped up on the right. Like, it was amazing today, man. Full of running, you know, a bit of shithousery. You know, he loved that with Bruno.
Absolutely brilliant.
You know, like, he complained to the ref. Hey, what's he doing, ref? Yeah. Like, we love that about Bruno. So, complete Bruno Fernandes performance today. Yeah. And he hardly frustrated me. So, yeah. So, 9.
All right, 9 for you. Sancho. I'm going to give Sancho I want to say more than 6. Because he was on the wing, he was getting back into position. I'm going to give him a 7. I think what I saw from Sancho today, which we haven't seen, which has not happened rarely, is the fact of just the covering work. Defensively as well, getting back into shape so we just don't allow too many attacks. I don't think we got pressured by Nottingham Forest, but that's because everyone was where they need to be. And Sancho... usually in the past has not been in position, I think he gave us a good outlet. The 1-2s, the passes with the low, that relationship was really good actually for me. So I'm giving it a 7. It's mild. You can see I want more, but 7 I think is just about right.
I agree. I agree with that. I think a 7's is fair for him. The ball retention that he's doing is good. And actually, a couple of times, you know, he got Nico Williams booked when was going to go past him. Remember you said that's the one time?
Yeah.
Got his shirt dragged because, again, he showed that aggression, good link-ups, good overlaps. Nah, he kept the ball. He was neat and tidy today. Put some good balls across the box.
Oh, that should have been.
From him as well. We haven't seen a lot of the crossing in the box from him, and he did that today.
He scored after a minute as well. You know what I mean? He took a deflection. So I think a 7's fair for him.
7's fair. We move. Who have we left out? Have we done Antony? Did we done Antony?
We haven't done Antony either.
No, so we got to we got to make our way there. All right, cool. Antony, you do Marshall.
Hey, Antony, 9 today. Yeah. Okay, you heard me. It's not a drill. 9. Yeah. 9 for me.
Why?
Best performance in the Man United kit.
Absolutely.
Everything about his performance today was on point. He was dangerous. When obviously Martial went off, he was thinking who could get a goal. He looked like the most likely. He kept bringing it to Nottingham Forest. Do you know what I mean? Like the pressure he was putting on them, the runs, he kept going at his man, taking on his man. Used the right foot too. He used the right foot as well.
To the right hand side, use the right foot.
You know what I'm saying? And then he gets his goal today. Again, it wasn't the most flashiest goal, but it's gambling at the back post, which we're going to see more of, hopefully. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I like that. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that at all. The main man, Mr. Antony, play 70 minutes, turns up today. We give him Martial.
The minutes are going up.
The minutes are going up. The minutes are minute.
I told you that you lot all said 60.
Yeah, you won. Well done. You won the big.
Yeah. Whatever it was. Yeah. So he's building up to that big fitness mark. Link up play, superb. I liked the ugly side of the game. The bit where you might miscontrol it or give a ball away, hunt it back. That's one of the question marks that always arrives with Tony.
Does he want it enough?
Is he gonna run around and get the ball back? The goal comes from that. Bruno plays a great pass, and then, like I said, no Bruckfoot shot, not near post, not straight at the keeper, clean connection across the goal, which forces the keeper to palm it out to Antony. He's got to get 8 for the impact.
Yeah, I like 8. I like 8.
And how important he is to just keep.
This is quite an interesting quote. I've just seen this. This is coming from TalkSport, and Erik ten Hag. This is why I love Erik. Okay, so he was asked about the game on Thursday, this past Thursday, and I guess upcoming Thursday against Sevilla. And Ten Hag said, quote, "We fucked it up on Thursday, so we now know we have to come back. We made mistakes and we can't make them, and now we go to Seville and we have to do a great performance and win there." I love it. My manager. We effed it up Thursday. It's our fault, and it was our fault. You can talk about, being unlucky and all that kind of stuff. No. You do make your own luck. That first goal, Malacia, I know Malacia had a bad knee, messed it up, screwed it up. And to be honest, and in fairness, I think he probably throws himself in that as well. So that's what's been put out there. I hope that's a legitimate quote, because otherwise they maybe swear for no reason, and that would be a disgrace and a cheat. But hey, even if not, it was fun, wasn't it? But according to TalkSport, that's what they're saying. And again, I know, but still, fantastic. I like it. And also as well, just some news coming in the last couple of minutes as well from Fabrizio Romano, transfer season on the horizon, saying that understand Alexis McAllister and his camp consider summer move as 100% guaranteed. The expectation is for an early transfer. Alexis will give his best for Brighton until June. Liverpool and Manchester United will discuss with player side soon. So, according to Alexis McAllister, he's leaving. 100% he's leaving Brighton in the summer. And Liverpool and Manchester United are going to be discussing with Alexis McAllister's entourage over, I guess soon, according to Fabrizio Romano. And I said earlier on that we need to get that midfielder that can do what Eriksen can do as well. Alexis McAllister, speak it into existence and it shall happen. Because that's the profile of player that I was saying. Get someone in that if Eriksen can't play every game or if he's got to come off, brilliant. I would be a big fan of Alexis McAllister coming to Manchester United. I think that's what we need. I like it. I like it a lot. What I also liked was the match for yesterday. Here are some of the highlights.
Left foot, lovely.
Tony,
I need you to look after that for me.
Well, work hard. And
Tony, finish! Tony! Oh! Yeah!
It's offside. No.
Antony!
Up to the right side! Up to the right side!
Come on. Wait, is it not offside?
No, it's fine.
Relax.
Can't be.
Remember the last game? He was like this, waiting.
Yeah, let's just... No offside. United!
Hey, Martial.
I love you, Antony, bro. You're the answer, bro.
Christian Eriksen.
No, this pass here, look at this. From Bruno.
Bruno
straight in.
in.
Amen.
Oh! Finish! Yeah! My boy! Come on!
Antony with the assist as well. Yes, man. Antony. Antony, wicked assist.
Inversion.
Left back.
Hold on a second.
Don't talk to me about Antony. Don't talk to me about him. He's getting better. Is he the answer? Yes, he is.
Yeah. That's the real thing. Yeah. Check your pulse. Manchester United are alive. Manchester United are alive with that one. Yes, love the passion. What a show. It's gone past like that. It always does here on Match Day Reloaded. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. What's on tap for the rest of the day and the rest of the week? Well, it's a pretty big one actually this week. I mean, that sounds quite strange out of context, but we'll move on. Today, we've got Tactical View, of course, with Statman Cam, breaking down Manchester United's 2-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. We've also got the full view, yes, at 6 p.m. as always, so be sure to check that out and join us. This week, you're in for a treat in the build-up to the Europa League quarterfinal second leg in Seville against Sevilla. Obviously, Flex, he's going to be out there. We're going to be bringing you all of that content, so stay tuned for that. Press conference reactions, match views, fan views, you name it. And then, if that wasn't enough for you, after that, we've then got a little thing called the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. I mean, it's a pretty big week for Manchester United. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Click the notification bell. You'll be notified every time we go live or every time a new video gets uploaded. I'm out of here. Have a great Monday, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.